Being part of a women's circle in midlife is like a plaster for the soul. We all carry similar doubts, but hearing stories from someone who's walked the path a bit farther, that's where the magic happens.
I think I learned to become my best friend, my own best friend. Oh, lots of new things. It was a new world, new food, new friends, new hobbies. I've never been so healthy in my life since I've been here. Just try. If it works out, fantastic. If it doesn't work out, you pat yourself on the back for trying. Yeah, I should do that too.
We met first time in the yoga center. It was the time of the pandemic, and I was really impressed with your flexibility, but also with your very warm personality. You are one of these women, very brave, who decided to improve something in the life, and you moved to Lombok. So what happened?
It took a little while to ponder about what I wanted to do. At that stage, I had 3 independent adult children, and for me, something felt that it was missing in my life. I wasn't sure what it was. It was just a little bit hard to find satisfaction in the life of maybe what society expected of me. And I still didn't know what it was. For me, my dear old mum, before I came, who was 91 years old, and I had been talking to her about this, and she actually said to me, Seline, go home, take your head off, and listen to what your heart is saying. And I did. And that was my stamp of approval, I think. I used to holiday in Bali quite regularly, and I thought, I'm going to come over and have a look at what Lombok is like. And I fell in love with it.
And it was 11 years ago.
Nearly 11 years ago.
What about your family and friends? How they reacted on your decision?
Most people, friends, family, were really positive and were really supportive. Admittedly, there was the odd few, only because they were concerned. What about your kids? What about your job? What about your house? What about? And all I could say to them was, what about me? After fitting in and doing what is expected for 25, 30 years, I needed to find myself again. Look, I was 52 when I came to live here. So probably I had a lot more thinking on what is this purpose? What is life about? And that was my opportunity. I think before that, it was just so busy.
What the midlife means for you?
I think becoming wiser. There's no pressure in my life. No real pressure of probably what I would be going through if I had continued staying in the environment that I was in. I still do a lot, but it's my choice. I think it's really helped with midlife. I've always loved to be creative, artwork. I've never sewn in my life. Now I'm doing upcycle clothing and making sort of boho bags and things for my walls and whatever. And I just get lost, and after my walks or whatever exercise I do in the mornings, I'll come home and before I know it, it's 5 o'clock, time to move on.
What would you recommend the other women who consider to change the place, to move to another country, to another island, to another city? We are always afraid that we have first many responsibilities, so we cannot take decisions like this.
just listen to your heart. Listen to what you feel you need to do, not what everyone expects you to do. Don't put all your eggs in one basket till you are sure, and don't be driven by fear. You know, we can do it. We're women. We've been through a lot.
Stronger than we think.
We are, and give ourselves credit. You know, I think we need to do that more often. For me, as I said, I did it over a process of time, knowing I could always go back.
Well, how did you know that this is the right direction?
Yeah, I don't know if we all know, but it's a bit like the old cliche of, you know, better to try and fail than not try at all. Listen within of what you want to do, of what you feel you would like to do. And the hardest thing is making the decision, I think. Once you've made the decision, everything just falls into place because you've decided, and this you'll move on, and this will happen, and this will happen. So
you were lucky. You had very smart person who push you to take this decision, to think about yourself. Not everyone is so lucky.
No, this is true. This is true, but who is the best judge about our own life? It's ourselves.
When I spoke to some women who decided to move with the family or alone to Indonesia, they said that they just started like a new life. They got a new life. They can come back to the old hobby. They can start the new hobby.
You know, it's never gone. And I think that was something I had thought a long time ago was, oh, that happy-go-lucky, courageous, you know, adventurous person, no longer. But that's so not true. We're never going to lose that person. It might just get a little bit pushed down with commitments that we have and, you know, life. But we're always there. And I think by doing this has given many of us the opportunity to find that person again.
What would you say, tell, advise the young woman around her 40s? She feels she's aging. She still doesn't know where is her place. What would you recommend or advise?
Isn't needing to have to be so serious. And we don't have to be perfectionists in whatever, you know. Remember to laugh. I think that's a really important thing, is to be able to laugh, to not take everything so seriously. Yeah.
And sometimes to create situations which make us laughing.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, like if a good comedian was to take her 40 or 50 or whatever age, even motherhood, they can make us laugh because it's so true what they're saying about these situations. Try to start easing up to make things work a little bit for their benefit, for your benefit, yeah. It's hard, but it's doable. Have a little bit of time. Start becoming mindful about who they are. I think that's really great to say, do what you like. Don't do what you feel you should do.
And try. Because if you don't try, you never know.
Absolutely. You know, just even if it's small steps each day. You've got the thought, it's overwhelming to think, oh, I've got to walk now, or it's too hot, or I've got to go. Just one step at a time. Just get your shoes and your socks and put them on. That's a good step. We can be complainers, you know, but we've also got a lot to be grateful for. My message for anyone listening is, if it's not really right for them now, you know, don't stop your dream. It can be worked on when things start to fall into place, and still keep putting things into place in your mind, even though you may have to work or you may have other commitments. Don't disregard your dreams or what comes from within of what you want to do with your life.
Thank you.
You're
It
welcome.
was really good message and very promising, because I think this is the right, what you said. As long as we have dreams, we can still keep younger. Thank you very much for watching this episode. If you want to see more inspiring stories, more chats about the midlife, hit like, subscribe, drop your comment, and see you in the next episode of Midlife Wonders by Alice.